You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Owning a business isn't just an occupation, it's a legacy for those you want to pass it on to. At Sandy Spring Trust, succession planning is one of the many aspects of wealth services we provide. We'll work with you one-on-one to answer questions and advise you on valuations, transfer of ownership, and much more. What's your next financial destination? Visit sandyspringbank.com/wealth. Wealth and insurance products are not FDIC insured, not guaranteed, and may lose value. Wealth products offered by Sandy Spring Trust, a division of Sandy Spring Bank.
Brad Williams.
Just started raining.
Brad Williams in the rain joins us professionally.
We're outside the hospital where that dog ate that heart.
Yes, let's go to Brad Williams because weirdly, I didn't understand where it is that this popped up from. The other day, Brad Williams just texts me because he listens to our show. I've ended 2 fights with headbutts. And I was wondering about, you guys never got me an answer. Tyson Fury's father, how many times has he been in prison? Because you gave me the 11-year stint, but I assume there were more times that he was in jail.
I think that was a bid.
So the reason I asked the question is because he decided to end a fight with a headbutt, and I don't understand the mentality. So Brad Williams is joining us now. Explain the mentality to me as an expert headbutter, please. And you ended these fights because I have further questions about, like, how everything happened there. He joins us from the rain and where. Give us more information on this exclusive report, Brad.
I feel like if you saw the movie Starship Troopers, this is the reporter from the bug planet right before he gets stabbed by the aliens. I'm in Peoria, Illinois, doing a show, and it's raining. And this is the only place where I could set up and not disturb anybody outside the venue.
I want you to get really wet while doing this as part of the promotion of your stand-up act.
Baby!
Where else will you be going over the course of the next few days and weeks so that our audience can rally to support a comedian who's willing to get wet on behalf of our show?
Listen, I'm going to Rockford, Illinois, Joliet, Illinois, Carlton, Minnesota. Jealous? Of course you are. But I'm going all over the country. There's a Miami date in June at the Fania Hotel in Miami Beach. So go to bradwilliamscomedy.com and watch my new special, Starfish, which is streaming for free on YouTube. There, the plugs are out of the way. Let's get to some headbutt talk.
I know, but I don't think you promoted in Miami Beach. Are you sure that that's the right address you have for where it is you're going to be playing in Miami? Because I'd like to get that right.
It's always been a tricky pronunciation for me too. How do you pronounce it?
Fania?
Faena? I always heard Faena.
Well, he's saying Dania, and it's Faena, and those are two very different places. And so I'm not sure. He's not in Dania.
He's in Miami this time. He's usually in Dania, but he's in Miami Beach this time.
It's a very poor promotion of what he's doing here in South Florida.
Very expensive woolly mammoth bones.
It is the most.
Oh, that's that place.
Well,
we went
it's
to
the most expensive hotel in Miami, and it's much different than Dania. So are you sure it's Faena in Miami Beach and not in Dania?
Yes, it is. Biana.
Okay, that's not pronounced correctly. You're not doing any of this.
Google Miami Beach elephant bones. Expensive.
That hotel.
He's there.
That hotel. Yeah, I don't know why I'm going to the most expensive hotel. I'm thinking there's just a really rich person that wants that is like, bring me my joke midget, and then I'm supposed to come and make them laugh.
Brad, it's the coolest hotel in Miami. It is levels above where it is that you're presently playing.
You also shouldn't say that word.
What word? Levels above?
That word's no longer accepted in our culture, but if you're saying it,
it's not?
What am I? No, it's little person now. It's not an accepted.
Okay, well, it's a good thing you're informing me. I'll consult the elders at the meeting and.
Why can't I say it? He can say it.
Yeah, come on, dwarf. Fine, all right, we're doing this thing. Okay, but.
Did you headbutt another little person?
Or was this a crotch shot?
We lost
the
his
zoom
shot.
is gone.
We lost his shot from the rain.
I really could have done with his laugh because I felt vulnerable running with that one.
We needed support on that one.
We offended him there.
And then it fell out. We will wait for a second until this comes back.
You better
on.
come back and say it's okay for me to say that.
Lucy, what didn't we get to today that you wanted to get to today? Because we left a lot on the table before we brought Brad Williams on here. Is there any subject matter that you wanted to get to?
Yeah, Lucy, if I may.
Go for it.
A raccoon was on an MLS pitch for 161 seconds, and they had a devil of a time trying
Always
to wrangle
great.
him.
The
always
animals
great.
on the field, always
great. And always like an extra a speckle of intrigue when it's not a dog or a cat. It's something that could potentially, even those animals can also give you rabies. But anytime you see a raccoon out in this scenario, you're like, oh, okay, there's an extra element of danger here. But yeah, he was all over the field. I saw heat maps on this raccoon. They've called him Raquinho. It's not every day that you're just casually, well, for me it is because I got the under, but you're just casually watching midweek MLS and you see a game halted for 161 seconds while this raccoon,
There you go.
very cute, being chased by a man with a garbage can. So that was one of the things that I enjoyed in sports last night. There was another thing, but Brad is here to answer my question. Did you headbutt another little person?
Brad, I'd prefer if you put that sideways again, given how this is going. Can you make that sideways again?
More vulnerability. I could really use.
I'll put it on a diagonal.
Yes.
How's that?
That's good.
That's all right.
Ask him the question again,
Just
Mike.
one more time.
Most vulnerably, please.
Did you headbutt another little person?
Did I get canceled for saying the M word? Is that what kicked me off?
M is what he said there.
M word. M.
If I said the other one, I would absolutely get canceled, and I would support that.
Not if you openly complain about it and go on like a Rogan podcast. I think you're good.
Brad, I insist.
I think that makes you the #1 country music artist on the planet, actually.
Brad, I insist that you answer Mike Ryan's question, please.
Did you headbutt another little person?
No, because if I headbutt another dwarf, then I'm sure a portal opens to heaven, or we just explode into candy like two piñatas. That did not happen. But the headbutt is that, and a battle axe are the natural weapons of a little person, because our heads are massive. There's a lot of cranium there, and the two times I ended a fight with a headbutt was with an average sized person. Both times, because they came up from behind me and picked me up, which I hate. You do not pick up a dwarf. I'm pretty sure that's 7 years bad luck. But people like to do this with little people a lot. They like to pick us up. And I'm a man. I'm 40. I don't have the far right leanings of Mike Gundy. But yes, I don't like getting picked up. And both times I got picked up during another altercation, and I just threw my head back and hit the person's nose. It exploded into blood.
That's not a headbutt.
That's not as badass.
Not a headbutt.
That's not as badass.
Also, not a headbutt. Not a headbutt. It does not qualify for what it is that I'm talking about.
No, that's a headbutt. It's a headbutt.
Yeah, but it's just not as intimidating a headbutt.
It also doesn't tell you about the character of a person the same way going front on. You see my face, I'm going in forehead first. This is why I would not accuse Brad Williams of being in prison. The mentality of a headbutter has to be front.
Both times were with the back of the head, huh?
Both times.
Both times were at the back of the head. I'm pretty sure if I used the front with my forehead, that would be considered assault with a deadly weapon. This is a very large forehead. It would definitely do some damage. So I showed mercy by using the back of my head during these altercations.
I think the back of the head's more. You're saying it's like less surprising? I think it's more surprising.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's less surprising. I'm saying it's less of a headbutt to use the butt of your head. I'm saying to use the forehead on a headbutt.
He's risking less by doing it this way.
It's more aggressive and more character telling if someone goes in forehead first, which is what I thought he was describing.
Right, because of the whole mutually assured destruction of it all.
Do you disagree with this, Brad? This is not a traditional headbutt.
I was definitely in a panic when it was happening. I don't know, you guys. Dan, I doubt you've ever been lifted off the ground in a surprise way during an altercation. But when it happens, you use whatever weapons are at your disposal.
That's a good
and
point.
In my case, it was just my giant cranium.
I am not rejecting that what you did was necessary, and I salute you for making multiple noses explode. I just don't define that as a headbutt.
It's just not as badass.
And it's also not as character defining about who someone is. When I'm saying of Tyson Fury's father, that person's been in prison if that's how he problem solves.
Right, because it gives off, I don't give a shit about my face if I'm willing to use my face as a weapon. Like, what you can do to me won't hurt me because I'll do it myself. Whereas if it's the back of the head, that's not really the moneymaker.
Brad, did you consider the kick in the groin? Because when they lift you, you could have also done a back kick right in their midsection.
I have considered that. Normally, I think because with my head, that's more of a direct knowledge of how this weapon works. The kick to the groin, normally my feet are not anywhere near someone's groin area. I cannot get them up that high, so I'm not as deadly with my feet. But with the head, pretty darn accurate. Now, a punch to the groin, that's like a straight ahead thing for me. That's just doing.
That's what I thought.
Have you done that?
I honestly thought the headbutt was a groin punch. When you first said I ended 2 fights with a
groin
headbutt.
shot.
Yeah.
No, this was someone picking me up Lion King style, and me just not liking that and throwing the head back.
Can I get the
last time it
backstory?
happened was in college.
Can I get the backstory on what the fight was before that? Because you're saying someone came up to you in a fight to pick you up as if they were going to throw you or something.
Yeah, it was okay. I'll get into the weeds as much as I can on this fight, but the last one in college was me and my sister went to college together. We both went to USC, and there was an altercation between her and a gentleman, and I decided to get in there and protect my sister, and someone else from behind lifted me and then threw back the head.
Nose explosion. You have to wipe the blood off the back of your head because your hair is covered in nose explosion?
Yeah, it was great. Now, nose explosion is something different than what Mike Ryan does on the weekends when he DJs. This was just an explosion of blood.
I actually liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I liked
Even though I've never done cocaine.
An explosion of blood.
I liked hitting
Nose explosion.
the comedian with the loser game show sound.
No, it's funny.
The
He's
only
funny.
way
He's a
this
funny
could
guy.
have been better is if the rain had really come down, which is what I was stringing this along, hoping that you would get caught in a storm for us. But thank you for calling, Brad. Tell the people again where it is. You'll give them accurate information where it is that they can find you on tour.
Yes, go to bradwilliamscomedy.com, and I'm on tour the rest of the year, doing international dates too, doing Europe, doing Australia, doing New Zealand. But go to bradwilliamscomedy.com, and you can see all the dates. And in June, I'll be at a hotel I can't pronounce in Miami Beach called the Faina or something.
No, that's just terrible promotion. His video froze at the end.
But it was a pleasant picture of him that it froze. It wasn't like in between where like half his eye is open or anything like
looks
that.
good.
It
Yeah.
looked like a driver's license photo.
See you later, Brad.